Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. We're still here. Week 6, Money in the Bank. Last week was absolutely insane. I am calling my shot right now. We will wreck this in week 6. Let's get to the first game. We got the San Francisco 49ers at the Atlanta Falcons. 49ers are minus 5.5. I'm going 49ers to win in the cover. And this podcast has been probably the only thing on the internet that has chosen Falcons games right. But I think the 49ers dominate this game. I don't think the Falcons get the run game going. They got it going in the second half against Tampa, but it looked more like Tampa disinterest than the Atlanta offensive line winning battles. And I know Arthur Smith is a damn decent coach, but the 49ers are starting to play ball at the right times. 49ers seem to create 2 or 3 turnovers on defense a game, and I don't see Atlanta getting past the 10, 13-point threshold. 49ers get to the early 20s. I got this like 20-13. 49ers winning the cover. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the New Orleans Saints. Bengals are minus 1.5. Money, money, money. Money, Bengals to win in the cover. Listen, the Bengals did not play great against the Ravens. They did not deserve to win that game, although it was a mature and proficient performance. I wasn't impressed with the Saints against the Seahawks. I don't know if putting Taysom Hill in as quarterback to run power runs is the solution, and I don't think it's going to work against the Bengals. Bengals got the run game going finally. We saw Joe Mixon have a pretty decent game against the Ravens. I think Bengals win this damn game. Now, I know it is hard going on the road to the Superdome, and that is not an easy place to play. But Bengals are going to be able to pass the ball better. You can talk about the Saints. You can talk about Jameis. You can talk about Andy Dalton. The only thing the film provides is they're not good throwing the ball. And the Bengals have a much better defense than that Seahawks defense. Give me the Bengals to win in the cover. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Miami Dolphins. Vikings are minus 3. I'm going Vikings to win in the cover. Now, we don't know if Teddy Bridgewater is going to play, and obviously that makes a difference. You saw him get hurt the first play of that Jets game. You can't handicap that. You can't control that. And Skylar Thompson, he looked absolutely lost against the Jets, and it seemed like the Miami defense gave up in the fourth quarter. I think the Vikings are able to get the better quarterback play. That's why they win and cover this game. And I was concerned about this Miami front seven. You know, the Jets don't have a great offensive line, and they got absolutely pounded the third and fourth quarter. Vikings run the ball better. Vikings throw the ball better. Give me Vikings to win in the cover. If Teddy Bridgewater is in here, we might have to remake the video. Next game, Thursday Night Football. Aren't you guys excited for this one? We got the Washington No-Names at the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Bears are minus 1. I got the Bears to win in the cover. This pains me, and I've been on the anti-Bears bandwagon all year, but I think the Bears do enough to win this game. Last week, the money pick was Tennessee against Washington, and Washington's just played sloppy football, whether it be penalties, whether it be interceptions from Carson Wentz. This team is not playing good, well-rehearsed football. And this Bears team just seems to make a few big plays a game. They finally let Justin Fields throw last week, and you saw what he did in the second half against the Vikings. One big penalty really was the difference in that game for the Bears. Bears will be able to run the ball here. And if you stop the Bears run game, game, you should be able to beat them. I don't think Washington's going to be able to do it. Now, I know Montgomery isn't the same thing as Derrick Henry, but the Bears are consistent with it, and I think we see more Fields to Mooney. Fields to Mooney in one big play over 60. That's a damn difference. Bears -1 to win in the cover. Next game, we got the New England Patriots, the hoodie, at the Cleveland Browns. Browns are -3. Money, money, money. Money. We've been against the Browns the last 2 weeks. I'm going with them. And I know people are taking the keyboard right now and say, Lawson, you're a Bill Belichick hater. Don't bet against the hoodie. I will bet against the hoodie. And over the last 3.5 years, it's been more profitable than negative. I'm not going to go 11-0 in Patriots games. But if you give me a 7-4 in Patriots games, that's money. That's paying bills. That's a damn new chain. I'm looking at this, man, and Browns lost that game against the Chargers last week more than the Chargers won it. That's what happened when watching and dissecting that film. And the Lions, I know they got blown out by the Pats, and I know everyone wants to come on here and say Bailey Zappi is better than Mac Jones. That's not reality. Can you please stop that? This game will be a brush to reality to your face or your fingertips on your keyboards. Browns are going to run the ball better. Browns will throw the ball better, although Jacoby with that late interception, that might have been the most grueling play of the weekend. And I have the Chargers to cover that. Listen, and when I'm looking at this Browns defense, they have to step up. They have to finally put together a good game. They have to stop the run. This is their chance to do it against a predictable Patriots offense. Browns winning the cover, making a money pick. Next game, we got the New York Jets. The Jets are the greatest team ever. At the Green Bay Packers. Packers are -7. I'm fading the public in this one. Give me the Packers to win in the cover. We've been right about the Packers so far this year. We were right about the Giants covering, but isn't it getting a little bit out of hand with this Jets hype? Isn't it? Are we going to just throw out the circumstances of that game, and are we just going to scoreboard watch? Zach Wilson did not play good those first 3 quarters, and I think he's going to have a problem against this Packers defense. Packers just self-destruct, and that's why it's not a money pick, because this Packers team, they'll play 2-3 good quarters and absolutely self-destruct in one of them. And like I've been saying, the Packers lack explosion. They're not getting the explosive turnovers on defense, and they're not getting the explosive plays from the wide receiving core. Even with that being said, I think we see a lot of Aaron Jones. Bet him over in the player props. Packers winning the cover. Jets come back down to reality. Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jags. Lawrence at the Indianapolis Colts. Jags are +2. I'm going upset Jags to win in the cover on the road. On Patreon, we have the Jags +4 to win in the cover against the Colts earlier this year. I don't know if I'm running to bet this one by any means, but I do think Lawrence responds. He was the reason they lost to the Texans. And I don't like throwing my guy under the bus, but that's the reality of the situation. There's no other way you can slice it. There's no other way you can spin it. And, the Colts get a little bit more preparation time, but I don't think it makes a damn bit of difference. You're not bringing in another wide receiver. You're not going to be able to gel that offensive line, and you're not going to be able to take 6-7 years off Matt Ryan's age. And this Colts defense isn't what it used to be as well. Don't get excited about that Russell America Wilson performance, picking him off a few times. Trevor and Travis Etienne are better than what the Broncos put out there. Give me the Jags to win in the cover. Next game of the week. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. Bills are -2.5. Money, money, money. Money. Yeah, there's people going to be criticizing me for last week. But how many people had the Raiders to cover last week? Not many. I got the Bills to win in the cover. Make it a damn money pick. When I'm looking at this Bills team, they are the most explosive team in football. They are the team with the most synergy in football. Now, before you bet this, we have to watch the injuries in the Bills secondary because I don't want to hate on the Chiefs because what Mahomes has been doing with that receiving core has been nothing short of outstanding. It's been absolutely phenomenal. But we saw against the Raiders, they don't have a run game. And if you stop their run game, you can get stops on the Chiefs. And the Bills have a much better defense than the Raiders. And I think that's the difference. I think the Bills defense plays better than the Chiefs defense. And I think Josh Allen has more explosion. And I also want to go to a little bit of a psychological thing in this game. You know, everyone's talking about how the Bills got bounced from the playoffs. I felt like the Bills got the better of that game. Now, I know the Chiefs won on the scoreboard, but I felt like the Bills got the better of that game. I think the Bills come in here hungry. I think the Bills come in here more physical than the Chiefs, and I think you start seeing the Tyreek Hill withdraw. When you take out an elite player like that, that will have an effect. You can't just sandwich that up and throw out Marquise Valdes-Scantling and Juju Smith and say, oh, that's equal to Tyreek Hill. It isn't. Bills winning the cover. Stephon Diggs has a big day. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bucs are -8. I got the Bucs to win, Steelers to cover. There isn't a lot of science. Bucs just completely took their foot off the gas pedal. I mean, you're up 21-0. Falcons are only running the ball, and the whole second half, Falcons are down double digits, and they just kept running the ball. I felt like Arthur Smith was playing for a cover. We'll see what the Bucs do. We'll see if they respond. The reason why I got the Steelers to cover, though, is because I think Pickett's going to feel more comfortable, and let's be honest, the Bucs aren't ripping off 70, 80-yard passes on anyone at this point, and it's not because of Brady's fault. I really see some big problems with this Bucs interior offensive line. I think Hayward gets pressure on Brady. That's why I got the Steelers to cover. Bucs to win, of course. Next game, we're going to New York. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants. Baltimore is -5. Money, money, money! Money, Baltimore to win in the cover. I think the Cinderella stiletto of the Giants, it's been cute. I like Dayball, but I think that smashes at the new Meadowlands Stadium. I think they get taught a little bit about what it is to compete in this league and how talent runs this league. Listen, it was pure grit them beating the Packers. It was pure grit them even covering the Packers with how they started that game. But I think Lamar Jackson makes big plays. Giants play a lot of man-to-man, and you know what that means against a scrambling quarterback. That means big plays. That means you're going to have to dedicate a quarterback spy to him, and I don't think the Giants got the athletes to do it. On the other end, this Ravens defense is starting to play better. Marcus Williams will be out of this game, but Daniel Jones isn't going to test your secondary. He isn't going to work it vertically on you. That's why I feel like the Ravens have an advantage. I believe this spread will go down. I don't think it's going to stay at -5 for the Ravens. I believe this will work down as the week goes on, as people get excited about the Giants like they're getting excited about the Jets. Ravens to win in the cover, make it a money pick. And it's going to be interesting because whoever runs the ball better will win this game. And I think that will be why the Ravens cover. Saquon's been phenomenal, and you got to tip your hat to him. But I think the Ravens gear up to stop this run, and they make Daniel Jones beat him. Give me the Ravens to win in the cover at the New Meadowlands. Next game of the week. Just joking. We got the Carolina Panthers, Matt Rule, at the Los Angeles Rams. Panthers +11. I got the Rams to win in the cover. We're looking like we're seeing the third stringer, maybe even the fourth stringer if you consider that they drafted Matt Corral in the NFL draft. Listen, this is the type of game Rams always seem to cover. Low-tier opponent coming across the country. Matt Stafford gets right. The Rams offensive line gets right. And I love this Panthers defense. I love Derek Brown and Ioannidis. But I think this Rams offensive line isn't going to be tested like they were against the Cowboys. I think Stafford goes for over 300 yards. And I just don't think the Panthers are able to generate offense. And you know what? I never liked Matt Rule. I never would have hired him as head coach. But I think these problems with the Panthers are deeper than Matt Rule. I think it starts with David Tepper. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I don't think anyone on the Panthers really knows what they're doing. Rams winning the cover. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Cowboys are +5. This is the same formula as last week. Cowboys to cover, Eagles to win. We did see a few vulnerabilities in the Eagles last week, but I wouldn't write home about it too much. But I feel like the Cowboys are just able to generate enough. I feel like the Cowboys are finally starting to run the ball. And if you want to play ball with this Eagles team, you have to be physical. You really do. This Cowboys defense has been physical, especially in the front four. This Cowboys offensive line has been physical. I've been surprised about it. Zeke actually looks pretty damn good this year. I think the Eagles make more big plays. I think Hurts has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and more weapons. That's why I think the Eagles win this, but the Eagles win this by a field goal. This Cowboys team has something special. I haven't seen a Cowboys team in rhythm, in vogue like this in a good 7 to 10 years. So I understand why the Cowboys fans are excited. Cowboys cover this. Eagles win it by a field goal. Next game, we're going out west. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. Cardinals are -2.5. Money, money, money! Money, borderline. I might change this pick as the week goes on. This is a borderline money pick. I got the Cardinals to win in the cover. Last week, we felt like we would see a little bit of a response out of the Cardinals. We got that. A little bit, nothing big to write home about, but at least they responded. I think the Cardinals have more explosion than the Seahawks. Rashad Penny out for the Hawks. Anyone who's watched any Seahawks film this year understands that this man has been the lifeblood of the offense. There's been a lot of talk about Geno Smith and Metcalf, and that's been awesome, but Rashad Penny is the reason why this offense has been so consistent for the Seahawks. I think that ends, and I think Kyler Murray plays better football than Geno. I think Geno Smith has been a backup in this league for a long time for a reason. And there were problems in that Saints game with the Seahawks. Give the credit to the Saints for pulling that off, but Seahawks really should have got that one if you look at the game and how everything transpired. I got the Cardinals to win in the cover. Borderline money pick. Don't run and bet it, but this is one I believe I will put in by the end of the week. Monday Night Football. We got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are -4.5. I think the Broncos cover, but I think the Chargers win. This is one I would not bet. Broncos are going to try to make this game ugly, and that really is their formula. Their defense actually is pretty good, and maybe the Chargers have some problems with it. Maybe that Chargers offense struggles a little bit, but here's what I'm worried about. Here's why I don't have the Chargers to cover. Brandon Staley keeps wasting possessions. He almost cost them the game against the Browns. Did anyone see him going for it on 4th and 2 in his own territory? And he throws like a low percentage slant pass that was completely covered. I mean, this man almost ran the Chargers out of a road victory, out of a road cover. Thank God the Chargers picked off Brissett in the end zone. But I worry about Brandon Staley. We can talk about Nathaniel Hackett, and obviously the man isn't ready for the big lights. Russell Wilson isn't ready for the big lights. I think Russell Wilson plays. Chargers win this one. Broncos cover. Do not bet this one. Hit the like button, share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money. Let's have a good week 6. Thank you for all the support.
How many days it gonna take? You switch on me and I ain't get a break. If I hop off, then the levee gon' break. If I take 2, then I'm off into space. Put all that down, pour all that out. I'm done without, we on the now. Step after step, day by the day. Live for the night and I'm never gon' break.